Hi, and thank you for joining us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and also cover other important aspects, things that you need to know about if you are working for yourself. So today we're going to talk about whether you are self-employed if you are a director of your own company. Before I get on to that, if I could please ask you to take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll easily be able to refer back to this information if you need to, as well as being able to access other information that we have on a whole host of topics, all aimed at supporting you in your self-employment and catalogued within our playlist. If you find the videos helpful, then please do take a moment also to like them, as this helps us to understand which topics to focus our attention on when we're choosing the questions to answer. So back then to the topic, if you are director of your own limited company, are you self-employed? So as you'll know, because we've explored this in other videos, by creating a limited company, you are creating a separate legal entity from yourself. So you are completely separate. The company has its own assets, its own liabilities. It will have its own tax liabilities. It will have its own bank account, and so on and so forth. So in terms of your relationship with that company as a sole, so we're talking about sole director, which means that you are just trading using that portal, but you are the only one doing so. So you will be a shareholder of the company. That means that you own the company and you're entitled to the distribution of any profits after the company has made its tax. So that would be by way of a dividend. And as a director, you would be an employee of the company. So, and then you would be paid as a director, you would be paid through the PAYE scheme as an employee. So you are, there's two different streams of income that you would be receiving from your limited company. So this is completely different from if you're a sole trader and you and the business are your same and your profit is your taxable income. In this scenario, with a limited company, the limited company is earning its own profit and incurring its own tax liabilities. And as I say, as a director, you would be paid through the PAYE scheme as an employee. Those payments to you would be an expense of the company, so therefore reducing the profit of the company. And then the profit that's left at the end of the period, once the tax is paid on that profit, the remainder comes out to the shareholder as a dividend. So what it's quite useful to do in this scenario is when you're trying to get your head around whatever it is that you're trying to assess, is that you actually think, okay, am I thinking from the perspective of the company, as the employer, or am I thinking from my perspective as a shareholder, so for the owner of the company, or am I thinking of the perspective as an employee of the company? So it's all quite straightforward if you are able to just make sure that you're thinking from the right angle. So back then to the actual question, which is, are you then self-employed? So of course you can see here that your sources of income come from your ownership of the company as a shareholder by way of dividends, and through the PAYE scheme as an employee. So these aren't self-employed. But when you come to look at things like lending, perhaps you are looking at taking a mortgage, you will find that most lenders, if you are a sole shareholder and director of your own micro-entity limited company, will treat you as self-employed, even though technically you aren't. So the question's not straightforward, because it depends who's asking and what the purpose that you're asking. And it's important, obviously, to understand that. So just to run through that again, as a limited company, the company is separate from the person who's created that. The company earns its own profit, pays its own tax liability. So then the money comes out of the company, both to a director through the PAYE scheme as an employee, and as an owner of the company, as a shareholder, as a dividend, which will be the profit after the tax has been paid. So hopefully that helps you to understand the relationship with your limited company. And thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.